good.
It's just a little fun way to start off.
And I said Tom. I should have said Andrew. I should have said Andrew because he's my favourite. I think because that was the middle one, wasn't it? I think Tom was the last one I heard. Andrew Garfield's my favourite Spider-Man.
Have you? Has that always been, or has that just been since?
No. I like the Tobey Maguire films. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, because that was like an introduction. And I remember when Sum 41 did The Rock. It's what it's all about. It's what we live for. They did the theme tune for the first Spider-Man film, and I saw that video before they announced the Spider-Man movie, and I was like, oh my god, what's all this? And obviously the internet was in its infancy then. I think it was 200001.
Something like that. Was when I was born.
Oh, right. Yeah. Wow. So that was 2001. So there wasn't much information and stuff. It wasn't many scoops about it. But I loved it because it was fulfilling my need of wanting to see more comic book stuff on there, on the big screen and stuff. Action. Yeah. But then I remember when, like, The Amazing Spider-Man came out, and I followed the whole journey of it because around about, I think it's 2005, 2006... being a Donald Glover fan, since he was doing his his stand-up, his early stand-up days and stuff like that, and his Derek comedy days, we were following, me and my friends at the time, who were really big fans of his, like, YouTube stuff, when he did the Donald for Spider-Man campaign, where he wanted to audition to be Spider-Man, which obviously led to the birth of Miles Morales, because the writer of Ultimate Spider-Man at the time, Brian Michael Bendis, was like, oh, I grew up in New York, maybe there should be a black Spider-Man, because the boroughs and the communities he's helping out are mainly black and Hispanic. So, from that whole thing, Donald Glover auditioned, Andrew Garfield got the role, but I liked the idea and the direction that Mark Webb, the direction wanted to go in, a bit darker, a bit nerdier and stuff, which was a lot like the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, which is what I was reading at the time. Now,
I always thought as well, the name Mark Webb is made for it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and everyone's like, and your name's Mark Webb and you're the Spider-Man film.
Yeah,
and he always used to be like, yeah, okay. Everyone seems to be buzzed about that. But my best friend, my best mate Gaz, who's a huge Tobey Maguire fan, we're always arguing because he was like, he's too emo. That scene where he's skateboarding and his hair's all styled, it's like the Twilight and stuff. And I was like, oh man, but this is a Peter Parker for us, you know what I mean? He's probably listening to Dashboard Confessional, he's probably listening to Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy and all this sort of stuff, so he's going to dress like that, he's probably going to have that demeanour, and I just thought the casting was brilliant. Is it Reese Ifans as the Lizard, Emma Stone as like Gwen Stacy, and their chemistry on screen, and then obviously I even thought like they made Spider-Man 2 was class. Jamie Foxx's Electro, superb. I thought it was incredible. I always forget. I can't remember his name. It was in Chronicle, the young lad that played Harry Osborn. Great casting.
His name's Dane.
Is it Dane?
I don't know his last name, but his name was Dane.
Oh man, Dane DeHaan or something. Something like that. But I like the aesthetic of it. It was really bright, and his costume just looked really like, I think they added quite a lot of saturation to the colour.
The eyes as well,
the big eyes, you know what I mean, the big bug eyes and stuff. I loved it, and obviously that scene where you got the death of Gwen Stacy and like the webbing comes out and it looks like a hand reaching out for her.
I've got goosebumps thinking about that.
It's good, and people should have turned out for it, but now everyone seems to be an Andrew Garfield fan. But I like Tom. I do like Tom. I think he's got some great brilliant. Films. And I think he's given that new lease to what a Spider-Man film should be: jerky, comical, and just like a little bit too naive. But I feel like the next trilogy will be more of like a.
He's been humbled a bit with it.
Yeah, he's had his power and responsibility moment and stuff. But
what did you think about all the callback stuff in No Way Home too? Like that scene with Gwen Stacy falling. How it was then MJ Zendaya falling.
I liked it.
Tom misses her because of the Goblin. Andrew comes through. Everyone in the cinema are rough.
Yeah, it's closure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Massive closure. And I feel like that Peter needed it.
Yeah.
Because the Peter that we saw was very, self-deprecating. I know Peter Parker can be, but extremely self-deprecating. He calls himself, I'll be Spider-Man 3, I'm Spider-Man 3, he's a Peter Parker that clearly might not be part of it. He doesn't have an Avengers. He doesn't have that group around him to lift him up, but you had Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, I found brothers, and there was such a need and a desperation to belong, and it's weird that he found himself belonging amongst himself, so maybe that gave him the courage to believe in himself and stuff. But it was great, and I feel like it was nice to know that he can go back to his universe knowing that he saved his MJ, do you know what I mean, in a way, sort of, always saved his Gwen sort of thing.
He's made a massive impact on the MCU universe. I do think with Tom's films, I don't know how you feel like they compare to Tobey and Andrew's, but Tom's Peter Parker, I think, is the best one out of the three of them to fit in the MCU.
Oh, definitely.
I don't feel like the other two would mould as well as he does. And like you said, that naiveness, I feel like is needed in the Spider-Man for what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if you put Andrew with, I couldn't really imagine Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Yeah, not with the quips and stuff, and not with that sort of like jaded. I don't think the chemistry would be the same.
Yeah.
Because I like how Tom's Peter Parker just looks up to all these heroes, as you would as a teenager, like, oh my days, you know what I mean? We've got like aliens invading, and these are guys that are saving us from the aliens, and now I'm the only and now I'm a guy that can crawl on walls, and I'm web slinging, and like doing all these after school activities. So all these people who you're sort of, I guess, drawing from morally, you're now part of their team. Yeah, so you'd be like fanboying out, wouldn't you, and stuff. So I think they've nailed it, but yeah, I think the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man just a little bit more removed, a little bit more serious. But I think they've had that sort of opportunity to establish themselves as independent sort of heroes.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Stuff. Yeah,
it's a bit of a weird thing because they've been like established Spider-Men from seeing their origin story upwards, whereas we've got Tom's, where we've not seen his origin story.
Yeah,
he's not an established Spider-Man. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
That kind of weird thing with it. I think